Go ahead.
Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Guys, today I am making ziti. We're making ziti today, so I hope you can get your ingredients and join me so we can all do this together. This used to be one of my kids' favorite when they were younger, but I thought that I would make it for you today. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put my ziti on to boil. So let's do that first, and then I'm gonna go on to the next step and show you exactly how we make the ziti. So first thing we're gonna do is boil our water. Woohoo! My water is boiling. I'm gonna lower my stove a little bit because I had it on high, so I'm gonna lower my stove. And then I'm gonna take my noodles and pour them in there. I'm using the whole box. Now to that, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt. And after that, we're gonna stir it. We're gonna give it a good stir so we don't have the noodles are not stuck together. So you have to make sure you stir them. Then guys, this is my little trick right here. I always put a little bit of olive oil, maybe about a tablespoon of olive oil in the water. And what that does is it stops it from boiling over. So you can go around and do whatever you have to do and not worrying about your water boiling over and coming over the sides of the pot, okay? So we're gonna leave this until our noodles are cooked, and then I'll be back to show you my next step. Okay guys, so now let's go on to our next step. All right, so the next step is to prepare our meat. I have here, this is about 1.25 pounds of ground turkey. This is what I'm going to be using. You can use ground beef if that's what you prefer. And these are the spices that's going to go inside of the meat. So in here I have 1 whole onion. I have 2 tomatoes chopped up. I have a half of green pepper and a half of red pepper. These are bell peppers. I have some carrots with some black pepper, some salt, some all-purpose seasoning, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some pepper flakes. I also have in here some fresh basil and some thyme. And of course I have my sauce over here that's gonna go into everything. So let's go over and put this all together and I'll show you how I do it. I'm gonna start by, my pan is on, by putting about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. Next I'm gonna add some garlic in there. This is 1 whole pot of garlic. We're gonna stir this up a little bit. Just make sure that you don't go too far from your garlic because garlic burns very quickly. So you have to be careful. You don't want it to burn because once it burns, it gets a little bit bitter. Okay, so this is our garlic in here. To the garlic, we're gonna add our 1 onion and we're gonna saute that a little bit. And we're just going to leave this for a few minutes so that it becomes translucent. Let it just saute a little bit. Yeah. All right guys, so once you've sauteed your onions for a few minutes, then we're gonna add our ground turkey to that. Break it up good. We're gonna go ahead and just add everything else to this. Those are my peppers. These are my tomatoes. This is my pepper flakes. Here I have some more garlic. This is some garlic powder. Make sure we got it all in there. This is some onion powder. I have some black pepper here. Some salt. Everything, guys, is 1 teaspoon. I forgot to say that. Everything that I just add in is 1 teaspoon each. I have some all-purpose seasoning. And over here I have some fresh thyme. I'm just going to drop that in. And I have some basil. I'm going to just drop that in just like that. And we're going to stir this up a little more. Now to this, I'm going to add, I have 2 cups of sauce, tomato sauce. I'm going to add the whole thing to that. Make sure I get it all out. Nothing too fancy to this, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this, put it on a low heat, let everything cook, and then we're going to come back and we're going to check it and taste it, make sure that everything is just right, and then we're going to add it to our noodles. So I'm going to cover this and I'll be back in a little while to show you what it looks like. Alright, guys, so let's check our meat. This has been on here for about 40 minutes. And this is what my meat looks like. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little taste to make sure, before I add the noodles to it, to make sure that it doesn't need any more salt or anything else. Okay, so let me just give it a little taste. Perfect. Doesn't need a thing. It's good. So now I'm gonna add my noodles to this. So let's go over. Let's get started on that. All right, guys. So let's start now to assemble our ziti. Okay. So I have my sauce here that I tasted. That tastes delicious. I am going to go ahead and just fish out the thyme that we use because I don't need that anymore. And this is the basil right here. We can take that out. And let's get the rest of the thyme pieces out. We got everything we needed out of that. Okay. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Okay, so now I have my noodles here, guys, that I cooked a little while ago. Make sure when you cook your noodles that you don't overcook them and make them too soft, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add this to here. You make sure that you put them in a colander and drain them really well to get all the liquid out of them. And then we're going to go ahead and mix this in. Okay, we can add some more to that. I'm going to actually go ahead and add the whole thing to that. And then once you add the whole thing, you're going to make sure that you combine it really well together. Once you finish combining your noodles and your meat to get your meat sauce together, the next thing I'm going to do is I have a glass dish here that we're going to be using to bake my ziti in. You can go ahead and turn your stove on to like 350. And I have some sauce here that I left back earlier. So what I'm going to do is just pour it to the bottom of the pan just to have a little liquid to the bottom so it doesn't stick to the bottom. We just pour a little bit of liquid and just So you save back a little bit of your sauce to be able to do that. And once you've done that, then you're going to take your ziti and you're going to pour half of it in your pan. Combine half of it right there. Just probably put a little more. Put half of it in the pan. And then I have over here, this is some mozzarella cheese. We're going to take some mozzarella cheese and we're going to sprinkle it all over. You could be generous with your cheese. And just sprinkle some cheese right here in the center. And once you've done that, then you take the rest of your noodles and you just spread it out on the top. You spread it out all over. And you get it all on there. Oops. It's falling out, guys. Okay. And then you're going to take the rest of your cheese and put the cheese all on the top. Now I gotta get some more cheese because that's not enough. Got some more cheese. You just spread it along the edges. Make sure every place is covered in this cheese. And just know now, when I put this in the oven to bake, it's already cooked. So I'm not cooking anything in here. I just want the cheese to brown. And once the cheese melts and brown on the top, I'm going to put some more cheese on that. Putting some more cheese on it, guys, to make it nice and cheesy. Okay, I think that's enough. And just clean off the top, all around the top. Okay, guys. This is a very simple dish to make. This is your baked ziti. I'm gonna put it in the oven and I'm gonna bake it until at 350, and I'm just gonna let the cheese at the top melt and it brown, and then I'm gonna take it out and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna taste it and tell you exactly what it tastes like. Okay, so while our ziti is in the oven and we're waiting for that to be finished, let's just go ahead and make some cucumber that we're going to eat with our ziti. Okay, so I'm going to start by peeling this cucumber right here. So after we peel our cucumber, we're going to slice the cucumber in here. You can either slice it this way, very thin, like that. You can slice it like that. But if you don't want to go through the process of slicing it, you can also use this side of the grater right here to go ahead and help you out. This is, of course, much faster. And this do it thin for you as well. And when you do it that way, you don't need to do this little piece. We can discard that little piece and you have your cucumber. Then once you done that, you're going to take a small piece of onion and we're going to chip it up like this, really small, to get small pieces, and we're going to cut it up in there. Let me just do it over here, might be a little bit better. And we're going to chip this up really fine. You just need a small amount of onion. You don't need a whole lot of onion. See? You chip it up fine like that. Once you chop it up fine like that, you're going to pick it up and you can put it in here. you're gonna add it to your cucumber. Once you're done that, you have some parsley. This is a bunch of parsley right here. You take some of your parsley. We want the leaves of the parsley, and we're gonna chop this up small as well. That's about good. We don't need the stem, so we discard this part, and we take this, chop it up some more, make sure it's nice and fine. And once you've done that, you're going to take your parsley and add it to your cucumber. And that's it. And then you've done that. We have a lime. We can cut our lime in half. We're going to squeeze the lime juice over that. We're going to take a little salt, sprinkle a little salt on that. And I'm not going to say a teaspoon of salt or half a teaspoon of salt, because that's depends on how much cucumber you're going to be using. So what you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle a little bit of salt, you're going to put a little bit of lime juice, and you're going to taste it to make sure that it has enough, that the flavor is just right for you. You may need to add a little more lime or a little more salt, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to squeeze a little more lime in here because I think that I can do with a little more lime. Next, I'm going to get my fork. Next, I'm going to get a fork, and I'm going to mix it up and combine. This bowl is a little bit small, but you get a bigger bowl. You get the idea. And just mix it up. Make sure everything goes all over. It's better to use a bigger bowl than I'm using right now. And combine everything together well. And once you've combined it and everything you think is combined well, then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead. I'm going to take a piece of the cucumber like this. I'm going to taste it and see if it has enough salt or if it has enough lime. It has enough salt, but I'm going to squeeze a little, the rest of the lime juice in here. And this is perfect. So the old people, you also can put a little bit of pepper in there. You have some pepper flakes, you can sprinkle some pepper flakes in there. Or if you have a fresh pepper, you can cut a piece. I'm talking about hot pepper, not bell pepper. Hot pepper, you can put some pepper there if you like pepper, okay? And just as my old people would say, put it down to draw. That's what people would tell you. I'm gonna put it down to draw. So I'm gonna set this aside for a little bit, for a little while. And when our ziti is done, I'm gonna have this along with the ziti, and I'll tell you exactly how it tastes. Okay guys, ziti right here is all done. See, it looks delicious. It's cool. I took it out a little while and set it on the counter to cool. So it's cooled a little bit so I can go ahead and touch it. So now I want to go ahead and taste it for you. And over here, guys, I have the cucumber that is going to go along with my ziti. So let me go ahead and taste it and tell you what it tastes like. So I'm going to take some out here. See all that nice cheese? Nice and cheesy. I'll take a little more. Yes, cheese. So guys, also over here, this is not the right, I should have a spoon in here. Okay, also over here, guys, let me take a little cucumber and put a little cucumber here at the side. And I will taste this and tell you exactly what it tastes like. So let me taste it for you guys. It's a little bit cool. A little bit cool. The flavor for that is just right. Now taste a little bit of it, guys, with the cucumber. Guys, give the ziti a try. Make yourself some ziti for the family. My kids love ziti when they were little. They are grown up now, so they'll still eat it. But this was one of their favorite dishes when they were growing up. So go ahead and make some for the kids. Make yourself a little cucumber to go along with it. Delicious. If you have an avocado, put it right there. It's a great dinner. Guys, I had fun making this. I hope you have fun making some for your family as well. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. Until next time, bye-bye.